Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Moving the Chains here on Team NBS Media. My name is Ashmir, and I am back with Jeff and Joe. Glad to see you guys. Happy Sunday, week 12. I feel like time is flying by.
It is.
Before you know it,
What?
we'll say before you know it, we'll be in playoffs. It's almost Christmas already.
Oh my gosh, I know. It feels very crazy. We also have a guest here. We've got Coach Daniels. Hello, how are you?
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
Good. Good to see
Long
you.
time no see, man. I haven't seen you since you went north of the border.
I know, man. It's been a long time, man. I've been over here working, you know.
For all of our viewers today, Coach Daniels played in the NFL for 15 years, and he currently coaches in the CFL. So we're going to have a lot of fun talking about a couple games today. We were saying the matchups could be great or they could be really boring. So the two we selected hopefully are the best ones. But first, we'll let Jeff take it away with our rapid fire results.
Well, not a lot changed since last week. Everybody did a great job putting up some winning records. Nobody went out there and had a 2-10 week. As you can tell here, 10-4 across the board, 9-5 with Joe. All right, so we're still tied at the top, Ashman. I haven't been able to surpass you, but I'm still hanging in there with you. It's a little tight at the top of that board. Greg hanging in there 4 games behind, and Joe is 9 games behind, but he is 5 games behind Greg. So Joe, who made the amazing comeback, he's 21 games over 500 now. Remember when he was under 500? Joe is 21 games over 500 now. But it seems like we're getting a feel for these teams now, right? Everybody's got winning records. We're not seeing, the 4-13 weeks like we saw about 6 weeks ago, when nobody knew what the heck was going on. All these unanimous picks are going down. We seem to be balancing the equation now. So it's getting real tight. We're going to have some fun going towards the end of the season.
I just want to say, I picked the Steelers to beat the Ravens, and I was right.
We all did.
Whether we
No.
somebody picked
the Browns. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Yeah, she was lone wolf on that one, and I had
it saved you from being out of first place.
The field goal game, okay?
Yeah.
That's what got me there.
Right? Because that was going to put you in second place if that held up.
Like sometimes, I don't know how I get there. Except none of us expected the Jameis Winston comeback game, which we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah.
First off, I do want to talk about, though, the Niners and the Packers. Okay, we've got a Brock Purdy-less 49ers team heading to Green Bay after they beat them in the playoffs in January. There are a lot of injuries riddling the Niners offense. I mean, even their line. Nick Bosa's out. Brock Purdy's out. Like I said, he's got a shoulder injury. And the Packers are really riding high on what they are doing so well this season, which is playing stellar offense. So I'm going to ask our guest first off, Coach Daniels, what do you like so far from the Green Bay Packers this season?
Well, one thing about the Packers, they're always going to be a consistent offense. You know what I'm saying? Love is doing his thing. He was a good quarterback last year. So we should expect him to come in this season and kill it just like he did last year. As far as their defense, their defense has gotten better. You know what I'm saying? They got a new defensive staff over there, and they seem like they're playing a lot better on the defensive side. And that was the problem in the years past, is that they will find a way to lose games on defense. So I think with the way they're moving the ball on offense now and the defense being solid, it makes them a whole better team.
Oops, sorry, I muted myself. I was saying I think Green Bay has a lot of offensive weapons, which has made it very exciting, like the rise of Christian Watson every week. I don't know if that's true, but I'll just roll with that one. All right, for the 49ers, I'm going to give it to Joe because I know he loves to talk about the 49ers. So, Joe, how can they just handle things? They've got their backup QB in there who has been a backup quarterback his entire life, and he's got to play against a really difficult NFC opponent. So what are the Niners doing without Brock Purdy and Nick Bosa?
I'd say run the ball and run the ball some more. I mean, you got Christian McCaffrey who's still slowly working his way back into shape. You got to hope that this is the game where he gets it all to click together. Mason, his backup, was not shabby at all as well. So if I'm San Francisco, I definitely want to make sure that the running game is operating on all cylinders. Leave your backup quarterback to be a game manager. We don't want this guy dropping back 30, 40 times. If he's doing stuff like that, it's going to be a very long day for the 49ers and the 49er faithful. But I think if you can establish that running game, and then on defense, I feel like they just have a rotating list of really, really good defensive players in the 49ers. One guy goes down, another person steps up. I know losing Nick Bosa is a big loss, but that defensive lineman room's got to have somebody who's hungry, that wants to make a name for himself, and what a better chance to do it than a game against an NFC opponent. So I think for San Francisco, running game is key on offense, and on the defensive side of the ball, just got to have Fred Warner and those guys step up and kind of keep them in the game. Don't let this thing get out of control too fast.
Luckily, it's not snowing there, but it is cold. So maybe Brandon Allen's familiar with that. Coming from Cincinnati, he can adapt to this whole game well. All right, Jeff, final question. Well, not really. I mean, you could go on about whatever you need. But I think for the Niners here, they're at 5-5, looking to maybe make a playoff run. What do you believe their chances are? And I think this is a question for everybody. What do you guys think the chances are for the Niners to just turn this around for the back half of the season and get into the playoffs?
Well, they're not dead. The good thing about their division is that nobody's running away with it. Arizona's a game ahead. Everybody else in their division has the same record or just, hanging around with a loss. You have to find some kind of consistency. You have the injury bug that's hit you all season long. But nobody feels sorry for you in this league when you're hurt. You got to find ways to win. What they're going to need to do is find explosive plays when they don't have Purdy, or when they don't have the tight end. If they don't have Debo, if they don't have, Ayuk's out for the season, so you don't have that explosiveness. You're going to need Jennings to step up. You're going to need Pearsall to step up. You're going to have to find the explosive plays that are going to help McCaffrey out, because McCaffrey can't be the only guy. They're going to key on McCaffrey now, right? They're going to try and bring pressure at Allen because he hasn't been playing on a consistent basis. They're going to do things that put you in bad situations. So you have to find the explosive plays that kind of get defenses to back up off of you and allow you to get back into your normal routine. When you allow defenses to dictate what you want to do offensively, you're in a bad situation.
Yeah, I am curious. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on picking Brandon Allen instead of Joshua Dobbs. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, my thought on that is that Kyle Shanahan's good with quarterbacks, and he's seen this guy in practice every day. And you just go through his history of quarterbacks, man. He's been good everywhere he's been, with young quarterbacks, with older quarterbacks, and I think that's why he picked him, because he trusts him a little bit more than what he's seen in practice. So you can't count the 49ers out. Like Joe said, they got that run game. They also got Kyle Shanahan, who's good with quarterbacks. So I expect them to play well today and be in this game and do more than what people expect. So I just say that he picked Braylon because he trusts him a little bit more than the other quarterback.
He has a style of quarterbacks that he prefers, right? We saw it when he was in Washington, RG3, Kirk Cousins. He preferred Kirk Cousins, right? In San Francisco, you seen it was Garoppolo, but he had Lance. But you know what? He went to this young man instead. He believes in this kind of style. He has a certain style of quarterback that he believes in. Josh Dobbs is not his style of quarterback. Allen is. That's exactly why he went with it. He loves a certain style of quarterback that he believes he can work with in the pocket. Not as much of a runner. Dobbs has issues at times in the pocket going through his full field progressions. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want a guy that's going to have to run to save the day. He wants a guy that's going to be able to sit there and go through his progressions the way he wants it done. And that's why he believes in Allen as over Dobbs.
Joe, you have any follow-up?
I just think that Josh Dobbs is a flash in the pan. And I mean, Phil hit the nail on the head. If you've seen Allen every day in practice, you know exactly what you're getting. Whereas with Dobbs, you see it on film, but you haven't seen him on a daily basis in practice like you have the guy that's been on your roster currently. So I think it's a good move. I trust when it comes to quarterbacks and decisions on who should be starting and who shouldn't be starting, even with his Super Bowl gaffes, I still give Kyle Shanahan the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I definitely think the Joshua Dobbs flashes last year were like super exciting, but in the times where things matter, he definitely makes mistakes.
Yeah.
So you want to avoid that as much as possible. All right, so we're going to talk about I'm trying to decide if we should do our team chatter. Maybe let's do that. All right, Jeff, I would like to talk about the headlines of the week. So please, this is your time to shine. Take it away.
Here we go. Team chatter, everybody. Your favorite segment. Well, first things first, we're going to start a little early in the week. We're going to move a little to more of the most recent headlines, but we're going to start early in the week. And of course, I got to throw on my New York accent for this one because this is all about New York right now / New Jersey because they play in Jersey. All right, we all know Daniel Jones is out. All right, released by the Giants this week. Right, what did they do? They got rid of Baloney. They brought in the Cutlets, baby. Tommy Cutlets is going to be the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants. That's right. Baloney's out of here. We're done with that. $40 million, take it and walk, buddy. We're going with the Cutlets. This is Cutlet Town. We're talking New York Football Giants. All right. So while we're still on this New York kick, right? So we're going to talk about another one here. All right. So let's slide over to the other side of the Meadowlands, and we're going to go and we're going to talk about these guys here. Oh, that's right. We're talking about the Jets. Oh, my goodness. They're just sacrificing bodies left and right. Oh, my God. I mean, it started with the head coach. Oh, he's not good enough for Aaron. No. Let's talk about the guy who brought the guy in here. Oh, we're going to get rid of him, too. It's Aaron's show. Maybe until the end of the season when it may be Aaron's turn to get sacrificed. But right now, the head coach is gone. The GM's gone. And we got a whole lot of season left to see who else goes. But thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for taking another soul out of New York. All right, folks. Listen, we got plenty more to go here. We ain't done. This is not over, okay? Because we're talking in my neck of the woods now. I'm going to lose the New York accent because we're not talking about New York anymore. We're talking about sunny Tampa Bay. And it's been a little dark around here since both of these receivers went out. But I tell you what, the sun is starting to shine. Mike Evans is back. Baker Mayfield has a weapon back, folks. So look for Mike Evans to come out today and add some life to the Tampa Bay offense. It's kind of finding its way through, but just hasn't been able to get the W's. Maybe we get the W today up in good old New Jersey as the Bucs invade New York. So, and finally, we've seen the Chiefs go down last week, and this could be the first Sunday of the season where these guys get to step up and wake up and have a nice glass of orange juice and a cup of coffee, knowing that their legacy is cemented. There are no more undefeated teams. The Dolphins are still undefeated. They're the only undefeated Super Bowl champion. Kudos to those guys once again for popping bottles this week, knowing darn well that, plain and simple, nobody is touching their record. That has been your team chatter for this week.
All right, we made the same exact banners, you and I.
Aha.
I had the nice cutlet with the hand. And I messed up. I didn't put everyone in black and white here, but that would have been a very nice touch. So that was very good. So I'm going to start with Coach Daniels here. Let's go back to the Jets. What is going on? Like, how do they change what's happening there in the case Aaron Rodgers stays, in the case Aaron Rodgers leaves?
You know, I hate to say it, but it seems like everywhere Aaron Rodgers goes, there's trouble. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily think it's him all the way, but I think some of these teams just give him too much control. I think he just wants to be a player and go play, but at the same time, you know, you let older guys come into your organization and they take over sometimes. They want what they want, and you gotta sometimes as a coach, you kind of you gotta lay down to some of the things that they want, just like Tom Brady in Tampa. You know, so I'm pretty sure they had to do some things that he liked. So the key to it is just being comfortable with each other. You know, and I think they never got comfortable with each other. You saw the interviews and stuff where they were throwing each other under the bus, him and the head coach, and it just wasn't a good look, you know what I'm saying? And then, they hadn't done anything the last 4 or 5 years. And, a lot of people say that, it's just the Jets, you know what I'm saying? No matter who goes in there and, it just seems like they always find a way to kill themselves in some fashion. So I just feel like, the Jets just got to reload, man. They're going to have to clean house and reload and do it a different way. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is the answer. He's an older quarterback, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, it's the everybody around you, you know what I'm saying? Everybody around you got to buy in. If you don't buy in as an organization, as a team, then you're not going anywhere. And that's the things I see from the Jets. They just hadn't bought into whoever has been coaching them. They hadn't bought into anything. So they just got to get the right people in there, the right coaching staff in there, the right players in there that care about each other and that want to go out and fight for each other. If they do that, then they'll have a better team.
All right, so I have a follow-up question for you, Coach. If Aaron Rodgers is not with the Jets anymore, I think, is all this firing for nothing? I mean, I don't think Robert Saleh was doing a very bad job. We've seen the defense absolutely fall apart. And Joe, or that's his name, right? Douglas?
Joe Douglas, yeah.
Thank you. He drafted a lot of great guys. Sauce Gardner is a part of that, Garrett Wilson. And, I mean, these are starting guys that he brought in. Was it worth it?
I worked with Joe Douglas. I'm sorry. I worked with Joe Douglas in Philly, and he's a great guy, you know what I'm saying, do a really good job of, drafting guys and getting the right guys in there. I just feel like like I said, nobody's bought into what the scheme or whatever they're trying to do over there. Nobody's bought in. If you're going to let Joe Douglas go and you're going to let the head coach go, and I'm looking at Joe's record there, he's done a hell of a job of getting the right guys in there. So if you're going to do that, then now you got to start thinking about all these other teams that let their quarterbacks go, like Wilson in Denver. Look what Denver's doing now. The Giants just let go their top quarterback. And, money is not an issue anymore with these teams. So I think if you're going to clean house, you just got to clean house and start over and go draft your quarterback and go get it done. So if that's the direction they're going to go, they need to do it fast, and they need to let that be known. Because I don't think that things are going to change. Even if you bring a new coach in there, I don't think things are going to change overnight. It's going to take some time, and you got to ask yourself: is Aaron Rodgers the answer to going forward? He's older. He's a guy that he just looked different now. He even looked different in Green Bay that last year. He complained about all the younger players, and that they were dropping balls and all this stuff. Same thing. Well, now he got weapons. He got weapons everywhere. They even went out and traded for Adams, a weapon for him. So he got no excuse now. And my thing is, it just ain't getting done. So now you got to start looking at him and saying, is he the answer for the future, or do we need to go out there and find our quarterback?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I feel like, with the years that the Jets have been trying to change the franchise, and then they're begging Aaron Rodgers in LA to come change and be the guy and step up, and it's been the complete opposite. I mean, he went in there and broke everything apart. I'm just going to keep it 100. I think the Rodgers joining is the complete opposite of what they thought. So Jeff or Joe, either one of you can take over here. What happens with Devontae Adams? I mean, I haven't really read his contract yet.
He's gone.
What's going on?
He's gone. It's an extended sleepover at a friend's house. He's gone. The Jets are just a mess, man. I mean, you tried to swing and miss. You swung and you missed. I mean, you can't always be Tampa Bay, where you picked up a Tom Brady. He was pissed off at the Patriots, wanted to show him he still had something in the tank. You win a Super Bowl the first year. Should have won that game against the Rams in the playoffs that following year. Different episode for a different podcast. Just my thoughts. The Jets tried to do the same thing. It didn't work. I mean, no one thought that Aaron Rodgers would rupture his Achilles, and then to expect a 40-something-year-old quarterback to come back from that and go back to all-star level playing, it's just not working. I mean, you got to just, like Phil said, part of cleaning house is getting yourself a young quarterback who doesn't have some bitter old man taking shots at him in the media or in practice. If I'm the Jets, it's just start new. We tried. It didn't work. Admit your faults. Let's move on.
Please, Jeff, I'd love to hear your thoughts.
This was history doomed to repeat itself, right? This is the same team that when they took a disgruntled future Hall of Famer from Green Bay and brought him there, it didn't work out. Oh. And eventually he wound up going somewhere else and spending his last 2 years somewhere else. Oh, yeah, that was Brett Favre, who was replaced by Aaron Rodgers. Then you go and get Aaron Rodgers, who was replaced by Jordan Love, who's experiencing success in Green Bay while you're toiling with mediocrity at best in New York. You should not have repeated this mistake. I said I've been against this since the minute they talked about it. Okay, you cannot let a 38-year-old quarterback come in and hamstring your franchise. That was the number one mistake that they made. You running younger quarterbacks. There were other options on the market. Okay, that could have probably helped you, right, with the team that you have. That would have given you everything. I said Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to come in here and he wasn't going to buy in. He came out the first year he was there. He went to all the mini camps to say, I'm a different guy. He got hurt the first game. What did he do this offseason? Went back to the darkness retreats and going through all this stuff and skipping the preseason. It was the same guy. You got conned, and now you're reaping the rewards of that. It took them 8 to 9 games to get it going in Green Bay with those young receivers. Here you are, you're firing the coach, you're changing coordinators, you're doing all this stuff. Now you've got rid of the GM. It's not going to get any better. This is what you bought. This is the dinner that you wanted. Now you got to eat it.
I think at this point, they're all looking forward to the draft. Like, that's all you can have any hope for. Well, we could switch over to the other New York team. Things are ugly in New York for their football season. So no Daniel Jones. And now they're bringing in Mr. Cutlet, as Jeff explained earlier. So what are your guys' thoughts for Daniel Jones? Do you think this was just like a try it and it didn't work out situation and now they're going to move on? Daniel Jones can be in a backup situation. What are your thoughts here, Coach Daniels?
You know, it's crazy how fast he fell. You know, the first year with the new coach, he looked good. You know, he looked like he was a coach for the future. I mean, a quarterback for the future, and they signed him to his big deal, and everything was gravy. But then something happened, you know, where it's like he just fell off a cliff. You know, it just seems like I don't know what's going on over there. But now you got to start. Now that he's gone, you got to start pointing fingers at everybody else now. See how the rest of the season go, because they may not have the answers over there either. So they may have to make some changes also. You know, you change your defensive coordinator and your defense still look like they look bad, you know. And so I just think that overall you got to look at the whole thing and just say, hey, it's time to reload. Same thing as the Jets. It's time to reload and do something different and get the right people in here. You thought Daniel Jones was going to be that quarterback. You know, after that first year with the new coaching staff, we thought that he was going to be the guy, but it hadn't happened. So I just feel like they got to do the same thing as the Jets: reload, regroup, find the right people in there. The defense is atrocious right now as far as giving up yards and stuff like that. But at the same time, I feel like their offense is just sputtering. You know, so now they're going with DeVito, and we'll see what he can do and give him a spark. But I just feel like, you know, when you let a star quarterback go, the same thing that Vegas did a couple years ago. You let the star quarterback go, then things go downhill. You don't have an answer for him. So we'll see if DeVito is the answer. If he's not the answer, then they're in a world of trouble.
I mean, we can't always just blame the QBs. So I'm wondering what else is going wrong for the Giants, Jeff? Like, what other problems do they have aside from just Daniel Jones not being that guy?
Well, it started with evaluation, right? This whole thing started 2 years ago when both he and Saquon Barkley were coming up on the end of their deals, right? They made the playoffs. They had that strong playoff push. You had to make a decision for the long term on both of them, okay? And what they did was they said, well, maybe we can easily replace Saquon, but we can't replace a quarterback. We think we finally found a quarterback. We got him. He had one good year, okay? So you had a choice. His tag is higher than Saquon, but it was the safer option was to tag him and sign Saquon long term. They did the opposite, okay? And by doing that, they made the wrong choice, because now when it came around again this year, like to try and re-sign Saquon again, they were trying to be economical and they let him walk. Now he's in Philly. He's showing you he was the guy. He was the generational player that was supposed to be drafted, that you did draft high with your previous GM. This GM believed in this quarterback who he didn't draft. He thought he was the generational guy. Turns out that wasn't the case. Okay? So now with less talent around him, you saw he reverted right back. He was making the same mistakes. He was struggling to get through progressions. The line was stressed to protect him, right? Yes, he coming out of Duke, he was a very mobile quarterback for his size, but he was always a guy with a solid arm, not great, but he would make some plays here and there, but he was notorious for holding the ball too long and making a lot of mistakes. and he continues to do that with less talent around him. That's why the head coach was frustrated with him. That's why they moved on from him. And it was almost disrespectful how they used him in practice this week before they released him. So at this point, it was just a case you misevaluated your roster. Okay, that's on the GM. That's on the GM, because your job as the GM is to evaluate the talent on your roster from top to bottom, find out where you're weak, and improve it. And if you're going out there believing and paying the wrong people, guess what? You're on borrowed time as a general manager. So right now, there's nobody in that building safe, not the head coach, not the GM, because if you saw Hard Knocks, you saw the owner, and he was like, if Saquon goes somewhere and we regret it, and you looked at his face, you could tell this goes wrong, it's on you. Okay, so nobody in that building is safe right now.
Yeah, and especially when we saw, 7 months ago, they gave Daniel Jones a nice 4-year contract with $81 million guaranteed. Yeah. It's crazy. They're just throwing money out and burning it in New York.
You gave him the long-term deal and you franchise tagged and pushed it down another year with Saquon, and then you didn't want to pay him the next year. He showed you when he's healthy, he was the best player on that team, and they didn't believe what they saw.
Yeah, I think this draft show that we have here on Team NBS Media is going to be very exciting leading up to it, because there's going to be a lot of talent that needs to be funneled through to the New York area. All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we will be right back. Of course, we've got Christy Love's Week 12 picks.
What up, y'all? It's your girl, Christy Love with Team NBS Media, and I got another parlay for y'all for this Sunday's game. Let's go ahead and get into it. So Prize Picks have this special where if you bet on Tyreek Hill on receiving yards, if he gets 1 yard or more, you win that leg. So I had to go ahead and snatch that up. My next leg is Hunter Henry for 45 receiving yards. However, this leg I picked in my parlay is for next week, and I didn't realize that. But Prize Picks have the exact same leg for this Sunday. So go ahead and grab that. It's an automatic lock either way you go, in my opinion. Then I had Jameson Williams for 42 receiving yards, Jamari Gibbs for pretty much 70 rushing yards, DeAndre Swift for 45 rushing yards, and then I have Caleb Williams for 23 rushing yards. If I'm going to bet anything on the Bears, it's going to be rushing yards. Quick money line parlay, I got the Lions, Vikings, Patriots, and Texas winning. As always, use promo code TEAMNBS to get your free money today. Bye.
She said, if I'm betting on anything, it is going to be that the Bears need a run. And that's all they can do because they are in trouble. Okay. I love that. Have you guys done any of Christy Love's parlays yet? I know she's like, I'm guaranteeing you money out here.
I have not. I'm waiting for when the games start to matter for playoff positioning. That's when I like to get involved, because players play a little bit harder, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what she gives us as the better teams come out, and then we're not betting on just easy money out here. All right, our last game matchup that we have today is, of course, the Harbaugh Bowl. We've got Lamar and Derrick Henry, and this Chargers defense, which has made a complete 180, I would say. They've been super exciting. Justin Herbert has finally been able to be this electric quarterback that we all know and love. So I want to start there, Joe. We've got two fiery offenses. What is the Chargers' game plan to deal with Lamar Jackson's legs and Derrick Henry's entire torso?
Well, the Chargers, in my opinion, are the Baltimore Ravens of the West Coast. They just beat you up to death. It's just a really, really tough defense. A lot of young, hungry players, especially at the linebacker position for the Chargers. And then on offense, you got J.K. Dobbins in his revenge game, a former Raven who just runs the ball. And then you have a great quarterback in Justin Herbert, who's not forced to throw the ball 35, 40 times because the running game allows him to kind of pick his spots, take his shots when he wants to. So it's almost like the Ravens are playing a mirror image of themselves, minus the superior athlete, which Lamar Jackson is. And I think for the Ravens, I don't know, you got to get that stench off of you, man. But the losses you've had, losing against the Steelers, that loss against the Browns that I won't let go away, I'll keep on bringing it up. You got to shake that off of you and show yourselves and show the league that you are legit. I mean, Lamar Jackson was on a coasting, in my opinion, to another MVP season. A couple bumps in the road here now that have let other guys kind of jump into that race as far as MVP goes. But I think for this game, it's bigger for the Ravens, in my opinion. You just got to show yourselves and show the league that we are legit Super Bowl contenders. And what better challenge than going up against a team who plays exact same style of football you do?
Well, just so we're all aware, the Chargers give up the least number of points per game, which is 14.5. So
Yep.
I think whether we're looking at a strong defensive showing or not, Derrick Henry is still on the other side. I feel like you can never – I bet against them, though. I'm not going to lie. All right, Coach Daniels, how will the former Ravens offensive coordinator, Greg Roman, attack this Baltimore's defense? Sorry. Since he's seen this team before, he's very familiar.
He will attack them through the air, no doubt. McConkey, my guy from Georgia, is going to be big in this game. And I think that when you look at the Ravens play all year, they've given up a bunch of yards to receivers and quarterbacks. So I think they're going to air it out. It's hard to run on them, but I think they're the number 1 or number 2 defense against the run. So running ain't an option. So you're going to have to spread them out, pass the ball around, and make it happen that way. So I think that's how they're going to do it. And just looking at their secondary, they just hadn't been good this year. So if I was going to attack the Ravens, it would be through there.
Okay, Jeff, same question to you.
Yeah, I think he's going to have to utilize the passing game. There's one thing the Ravens know, that he loves to run the football. Great, they know him very well because that's what they employed him to do for several years. He is a run-first coach, but what he's got to do is take advantage of the matchups in the secondary. The Ravens secondary is relying on guys that just overall, you have a young rookie who's really good. I think he's going to be one of the better corners in the league for many years to come. He's not there yet. The other guys they have, Humphrey, and the other corners have up and down moments. They're not. Humphrey's definitely not the same player he was several years ago. So you're starting to see chinks in his armor. They're going to attack these guys, and I think that's what they got to hit them with the play action and some of the deeper throws off of that. Because plain and simple, you can stretch your secondary out and get plays down the football field. They're going to give up those mistakes. If you get on top of the Ravens early and continue to press them, you can be able to run the football at them later in the game. But you got to get at them early. You got to be able to take advantage of openings in that secondary. But you got to do it early in the game. You can't wait till the second half against them. Because if the Baltimore Ravens build the lead, they can stick it to you.
I think the Achilles heel of the Baltimore Ravens is something we've talked about time and time and again, and it is that pass defense. They're last against the pass, and now 26 overall as a defense. So how can they fix anything against Justin Herbert and Ladd, as Coach Daniels has said?
Yeah. Run the ball. Run the ball and keep the Chargers offense on the sidelines. And unfortunately, too, for the Ravens, it's all NFL teams, but injuries piling up, especially in that secondary. I mean, Kyle Hamilton hasn't been 100%, I feel like, since week 1, a big key to their defense. I think that for them, you just got to keep the Chargers offense off the field, and your run defense has got to be good, because once the Chargers start running the ball, like I said, opens up that play action pass, the bootlegs for Justin Herbert. I mean, you're dealing with a guy who's much, much more than the game manager. Don't forget that. This is a guy that can throw for 300 yards rolling out of bed. So I think if you stop the run game and force it to just be Herbert, and then you can kind of concentrate on stopping the pass, that might give Baltimore a better chance of getting the win in this game.
What about you, Coach or Jeff? Either one.
Go ahead, Phil. We haven't heard you talk as much just in a long time. We got to get as much of you in as possible.
I think Joe is exactly right. If I'm the Ravens, I'm giving to Derrick Henry and I'm moving the ball down the field, getting 4 or 5 yards a pop, and hope he busts one. I just think that you keep the offense off the field, the other side off the field, and you can run the football. I think it actually shortens the game. It don't allow them to be on the field as much to throw the ball against your secondary. And I think that's the key to the victory for Baltimore in this game. Just run the ball, give it to Derrick Henry many times you can, and just live with the run game.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to say if Baltimore wants to win this game, how about you just be smart, okay? One of the reasons why they lost to Pittsburgh last week, because they weren't smart. There were dumb plays made by players, but most importantly as coaches, the so-called gurus didn't get it right. When you look at that situation at the end of the game, they scored a touchdown. They have a 2-point conversion where they could tie the ball game against the Steelers. And not only the execution was wrong by the players, but the play called for Derrick Henry to be in the backfield. Okay, you're talking about running a play action on the 2-point conversion with Lamar and you have Justice Hill standing next to him. If you have Derrick Henry in there, your play fake automatically draws attention. Why would you have him on the bench in that situation? That was ridiculous. Okay, that is a coaching mistake. Forget the mental mistake that the players made, mixing up the routes when Lamar's running out there and there's nobody to throw to. How about the fact that the guy that's going to be your main decoy is standing on the sideline, so he's the most ineffective decoy there was. Okay, if you put Derrick Henry in on that last play and you're play faking and running that play to him, boy, oh boy, you'll see that they would have opened up wide for the Ravens. There was just too much confusion, too much unorganized mess, and that's kind of what you're seeing from the defense at times and from this offense. They have to fix that if they want to go and beat the Chargers, because the Chargers, believe it or not, are organized.
Yep.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very exciting game. And between the brothers, John Harbaugh is up 2-0. And I know they're saying they don't want the game to be about the Brothers Bowl, but when you're playing your brother, I think it's always about the competition. There's no way of avoiding that.
No, you can't. You can't avoid that. You know, I was looking at the Chargers. They give up like 110 yards rushing per game. And I know Derrick Henry, this is probably going to be the best back that they've seen all year. And I think that, you know, if they can get the run game going, it's going to be difficult for the other side. But I will say this, you know, when it comes to the Chargers, they've overachieved this year. You know, nobody expected them to be as good as they are with all the people that they let go in the offseason. So I really feel like, you know, you never know which way this game can go. You know what I'm saying? If the Ravens, if they stack the box, if the Chargers stack the box and don't allow that run game to get out, then they got a great chance to win this game. And I think that's going to be key.
I was trying to look, where is the game at? Oh, it's in LA.
Yeah.
All these undercover San Diego fans have been coming out. I feel like it was very loud at the last primetime game. I was like, who are all these Chargers fans? I literally was like, when they won in that last minute, I was like, where did all these Chargers fans come from? I don't even understand. Like the Raider fans. We'll come out one day. All right. Now it's time for our favorite segment of the day, I think. Some rapid fire picks. So, Jeff, again, your time to shine.
Yeah, well, we got a loaded slate with the heavy Thanksgiving Day schedule, with the Friday night schedule. So we got a loaded slate. So there's a lot of picks to get right and a whole lot of picks to get wrong. So we're going to start
You made a mistake there, Jeff. Thursday, it's Beyonce with some football around Beyonce.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. You can't upset the Beehive. I'm sorry.
I had to correct that. I'm sorry.
Give me Beehive putting football ahead of Beyonce. I'm sorry. I'm just a darn near middle-aged guy who, you know, don't really. I like music, but don't get me wrong. Football comes first. Anyway, by the way, we're going to start with the early slate of games. Then we're going to work our way to the cream of the crop a little bit later. But first, I'm trying to find this one logo. No, I'm not. That isn't the top one there. There we go. All right, so let's pull this bad boy up and get cracking here. So, Phil, you get the honorary slot, so you get to join in the fun. You don't get the records, but you get to join in the fun. Yeah. So, get the rapid fire up here, and we're going to get going. All right. Rapid fire. We're starting off the early slate. Let's get this one out of the way. Commanders hosting the Cowboys.
Commanders.
I got Washington.
2-game losing streak ends today.
I feel like we were going to talk about this game, but we let the Cowboys fans have a break.
They can turn on ESPN. I'm sure you're talking about them right now.
We have to make sure we put that up there. I mean, if you look at his handle on Twitter, it's Greg Cowboys. So that tells you as much as he's picking the Commanders. All right, so we're going unanimous here with the Commanders. All right, moving on. All right.
There you go, Julio. Great comment.
The Bucs invade New Jersey. I don't know why you'd want to invade New Jersey, but nevertheless, the Bucs do invade New Jersey this week to take on the New York Football Giants. And Tommy Cutlets is in the starting quarterback role, folks. Who do you got?
This is Tampa's game, baby, to win.
I'm hearing a lot of thought going on
You
there.
think Malik Neighbors just had a crazy game?
Tommy Cutlet love. Is the Italian Stallion going to get it done over in Jersey, up in those Meadowlands
You know
in the
what?
swamp?
I'm going to take the spark of a new person under center. Give me the Giants.
Whoa, Joe.
What?
Yeah, man.
Giants.
Give me the Giants.
After all the bashing you just did?
Well, plays have been available, just that Daniel Jones didn't get rid of the ball fast enough. I'm assuming that their backup can.
Okay, Tommy. I'm gonna stick with Tampa.
You're going to stick with Tampa? I say it's a wise bet there, Ashman, because I'm going along with Tampa with it. All right, so Joe's going in. All right.
No, that's not a bad choice. Tampa do give a bunch of yards passing. They do got weapons in New York, so it's not a bad choice. So we'll see what happens. But I think Tampa, the way they've been playing this year with the quarterback, I think Tampa's going to take that one.
That's right. Play that lone wolf there, Joe. You earned it. You earned it. There you go. Good job. Good job.
If there's any Giants fans watching, Joe just loves to support the squads, okay?
So we now have the blemished Kansas City Chiefs. They're no longer unbeaten, thanks to that team from upstate New York.
Not even mad.
NY in the house. Even though they're upstate. They're still NY, right? They get to take on the Carolina Panthers, who every once in a while show you that they can still win a game.
Chiefs by a long shot. This could get ugly quickly. And they're angry because they lost last week.
Yep.
You know, I would be so happy if we were all wrong. Every week I say it. I want the Chiefs to lose, but I'll pick the Chiefs because my record is at stake here.
No, I thought she was going to go Panthers. I was like, whoa. I
don't know if I believe in Bryce that much yet.
I was like, I thought I went out on the limb picking the Giants. She's picking the Panthers over the Chiefs. Whoa.
And if the Chiefs lose this game, the biggest upset in the history of football.
Yeah, I mean, I think you see Raider fans celebrating in the streets.
But
There'll be Buffalo Bills fans celebrating this in the streets.
Yeah, that's true.
Be one step closer to home field advantage in the
Nobody
playoffs.
wants to go to Buffalo in January and play football.
That's correct.
Or do anything in January.
Correct. All right, here we go. Moving on. We got Minnesota-Chicago division matchup. Anything can happen in these. Chicago, darn near, pulled off the big win against Green Bay last week. Had it not been for their head coach thinking, I'm going to settle for this nice long field goal instead of making it a chip shot. So, what say you on this matchup?
I say Brian Flores makes life hell for Caleb Williams. I go Vikings.
You know, the Vikings are so different than they were to start the season.
They still got their defensive coordinator just.
Yeah,
really
I guess
good.
I'll stick with the Vikings too, but I'm very uncertain about that one.
Greg is going with the Bears.
yeah, I think the Bears in the same situation as New York. They're going against a defense that can't stop the passing game. So this game could go either way, you know what I'm saying? And, you would think Minnesota's going to win it, but yeah, the Bears got a good chance here.
Ooh, okay.
Who's your pick, Phil?
Okay.
Who'd you pick?
I'm gonna go with, you know what? I'm gonna go with the Bears. At home,
Okay.
you know, out the dome, I'm going with the Bears.
Well, I won't be joining you because I've picked the Bears plenty of times, and they have, boy, oh boy, they have royally shafted me in my picks. I am tied for first. I can't afford to go with the teams that keep shafting me. Therefore, I'm going to go with Minnesota because, plain and simple, I can't trust them. It's like Public Enemy said, can't trust them.
But as soon as you go away, they win.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I mean,
career day
back-to-back
for Caleb
seasons.
Williams today.
A team that's given me outaja recently because they gave me the picks lead for 3.5 quarters and blew it in the fourth. The Houston Texans.
Yeah.
Well, they get a familiar opponent this week in the Tennessee Titans, who nobody's really talking about. But there's a lot of Titan fans clamoring for that first overall pick, so they're hoping Houston does them a favor here. What are you guys saying about this matchup?
I think Houston has to do themselves a favor and win this game if they want to compete.
Yeah, I go Texans. CJ Stroud. Get things right, man. It's time. It's week 12.
I think Joe Mixon has like 3 touchdowns.
If only they could play Dallas every week. Give me Houston.
I mean, Tennessee got the worst offense in the NFL, so there's that. So I think Houston gonna win it.
Man, if only they drafted the right quarterback a couple of years ago. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, not trade away.
I said they didn't draft the right quarterback. What am I talking about? I said it.
But not trade away all their best weapons. You know?
Yeah. The A.J. Brown trade was just the trickle down.
They drafted the best mayonnaise spokesman in the world. I'll tell you that much. Here we go. Moving on. All right. Boy, oh boy. A couple of weeks ago, this matchup looked a little bit putrid, but both of these teams are being on the upswing. We got the Patriots coming to South Florida, sunny Florida, to take on the Dolphins. Not as hot as it usually is this time of year. It's in the 70s, may get up to 80 in that area. Up here, it's been in the 60s. So it'll be warmer than Buffalo. It just won't be hot.
They've burned me too many times, and I can't trust Drake May, so I got to go Dolphins. Every time I try to give the Patriots some hope, like a quarter or 2 quarters, I'm like, oh, man, they're going to do it. And Drake May throws a mind-blowing interception, so I got to go Miami.
I'm going Miami too.
Yeah, I'm going Miami. I think Miami, now that they're getting a little bit healthier, especially at the quarterback position, they're starting to play like Miami again. They can use some more big plays. They're still a little beat up in certain other positions, but I think overall Miami's coming up. I think New England is where they are. They're going to have a couple of bright spots, but I think that's
a pretty accurate statement.
Yeah, too much Hill, too much Waddle, too much Smith. I think Tua's going to have a great day.
All right. The Lions go to Indy.
I mean, Detroit is like on another catastrophic atomic level right now. So I'm going Detroit.
The Colts should petition the NFL to have a running clock because this could be another 50 burger coming from Detroit.
They third one of the season.
Even during commercial breaks, the clock should be running. This game can't end fast enough. So I'm going to definitely go Detroit big time.
I mean, I'll let y'all finish y'all picks.
Oh, you got something to say? Well, I want to hear what you
I already know the picks
going
to be
still change.
No, I was just saying that Indy, you look at this matchup, man, and what better matchup for Detroit and 2 running back that can get it done. And Indy has struggled stopping the run this year. And they also, you got the passing game with Detroit. I mean, it's just too much offense right here for the Colts to even hang in this game.
Yeah, I think all those people I was one of them that were singing the praises of Anthony Richardson last week for playing a good game. Keep that in mind because this could be an ugly game for him. This could be a 3 interception, strip fumble, but you got to recognize who he's playing against. He's playing against a team that most likely could make the Super Bowl if they stay healthy and the ball bounces their way. Just something to keep in mind for Colts fans that are going to be jumping out the window after this game. Oh, Richardson's horrible. Look who he's playing against today.
Detroit also, the passing game, they still hadn't fixed their passing game. So they're good against the run, but the passing game is the way to go after them. So if I do, I air it out, but that'd be safe throws.
Yeah, I don't think Anthony Richardson gets to run around this week. I think they'll contain him in the pocket, make him beat him with their arm. They'll force mistakes that way. So give me Detroit on that as well. All right. Sean Payton gets to go to Vegas.
Oh, God. I think Denver is an ugly day here, but they're doing very well.
Yeah, I go Broncos.
West is the Oregon Football Club, okay?
I had to go back and take a look at the draft. What teams that passed over Bo Nix, and are those teams that passed over him teams that could use him at quarterback? I wonder, like Tennessee.
Oh, like New England?
Yeah. This kid,
or maybe the Jets, that passed on him.
Yeah, but people were not very big on Bo.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's too old. Blah blah blah.
Experience, baby.
Yeah,
Experience.
Exactly. That's why I think it was a high pick. That's why I think the Falcons been a good choice picking up Penix. He's just chilling, learning how the NFL works. get some garbage time here or there.
3 years, he'll be ready to go. They don't have to get ransomed by Kirk Cousins after 3 years.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right. We talked about this matchup earlier, the Battle of the Bays, San Francisco at Green Bay. You get to bring the Cali boys to the cold.
You know, I think the Niners are done. I'm gonna pick the Packers. No Brock. He's basically been their Patrick Mahomes. You know, like if there's nothing available, he's running the ball himself, and without him, they're missing a lot.
Yeah, he makes some mistakes. We saw that last week where he threw that interception in the red zone.
Yeah,
he'll have those moments. I think the safe thing for him is that this is not the San Francisco defense of the past. We're seeing them give up a lot more big plays. We're seeing them get run on. We're seeing them struggle in key moments of games. That defense before used to shut the door on people. They're not doing it now. Now they're battered on offense. Purdy's not playing this week. So now you got the young quarterback in there. So give me Green Bay to win this game.
No Nick Bosa.
I was going to pick the 49ers till Jeff just went in that tangent of facts. So let me go with Green Bay.
No Nick Bosa should be enough, you know?
I was queued up for 49ers until Jeff just educated me. So I'm going to go Packers.
It's crazy that the 49ers lost their D coordinator to Houston, replaced him with a good D coordinator that did better than the coordinator that they lost. And then they fire him, and now they're in a predicament where they're not good on defense this year as they were before. It's just ironic, man. You know, it's called karma, I guess.
But you know what? We've seen that before, right? You fire a coach. We've seen that with Steve Wilkes when he comes in and gets a losing team to win, and they go, well, you know, you did a good job as the interim, but we're going to hire another coach. You fire him by mid-season. You should have just kept Steve Wilkes. So Steve Wilkes seems to be getting me from a lot of teams for some reason. I don't know why, despite that he has some kind of success there.
I mean, he got him to the Super Bowl, man. We fired a D coordinator that got you to the Super Bowl.
Listen,
and it wasn't the defense that lost the Super Bowl for him.
No, it wasn't.
They put up points.
You know, it wasn't. But once again, you can't argue with the man child. You know, you can't argue with the man child. The man child says whatever he says goes. You know, so we've seen that before. You know, yeah. You did good, but this is my show. You got to go. So
that's tough.
This is a tough matchup, Arizona, Seattle.
No,
Yes.
It's not, because Kyler Murray's not going to let you down this week, okay? I'm picking Arizona. I know you were going to say that.
He's let me down plenty of weeks. I don't know. He may not let you down, but I've picked up a million times. He's let
This
me
game
down.
in Seattle, too.
Man.
I'll go last on this one.
I'm going to call this one the slap in the face bowl, because both of these teams will slap me in the face plenty of times when I pick them. Okay? I pick Seattle, they slap me in the face, so we're losing. I pick Arizona, they slap me in the face, and we're losing. I pick against them, they go out there and win. Like last week where I picked against Seattle and they won. I mean, I don't know what to pick with these two teams. They're so bipolar, but I got to go with the team that's actually leading the division, a team that seems to have a little more consistency than the other, and that would be Arizona. Seattle's just too inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, beating the Niners is like what you want to do, but I think the Cardinals' offense right now is like, this is a brand new team.
If Geno Smith goes out there and puts on a playoff performance today, I'm going to have that Geico caveman face on the rest of the day.
I'm going to go Seattle.
I don't think he's going to do that.
I'm picking the Seahawks. I'll call that my second out on the limb pick along with the Giants. I'll go Seahawks.
It's not a bad pick, Joe. Not a bad pick at all. The team that can run the football the best today out of these two teams is going to win this game.
Ooh.
All right. We got the Eagles going out to take on the Rams. The Rams hanging tight in this AFC West.
I mean, I need A.J. Brown to score.
Well, they need him. They need A.J. Brown, as you see. Okay. There is no Devontae Smith for the Eagles today.
Yeah. The hamstring.
So before we get heavy into this, listen, we got an insider here. We got an insider here. So Phil, Listen, you know Howie and the boys. How do you feel about this matchup?
It's always tough, man, because you don't know which Philly secondary is gonna show up. And you talk about going against Cooper Kupp and Puka, and those guys back there as a receiver spot, man, they can go out there and put up numbers on you if you're not sound on defense, especially in the secondary. So it's according to which one shows up, which secondary shows up. Now, as far as the run game, both of them got great running backs. So, and the Eagles they've been better against the run this year. And you look at, Saquon's just, he's on another level this year. He's like a cheat code. So yeah. I just feel like, I don't know, this one tough. They're on the road. They had to go all the way across to the West Coast. LA got a chance in this. They really do. But, the Eagles, I feel like they got a little bit too much with Saquon and of course, AJ going to be big in this game. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's hard to pick this one.
You muted, Joe.
Going out on the limb, I'm going to go Eagles. I'm going to use my football brain at my heart in this one because I'm a big Matthew Stafford guy. But I think it's a little too much to overcome today.
I think Kyron Williams is like the biggest threat out there, but I'm still going to pick Philly. I think if they could stop Kyron, this is a game they can win, but
I would be tempted to go with Greg and the Rams.
Yeah. It's like the battle of the RB.
Yeah. I was tempted to go with Greg and the Rams, but I can't afford to lose a lead to you, Ashmere, so I got to stick with the Eagles pick.
All we're thinking about is the standings.
Listen, at the end of the day, the standings are what matters here. Okay, Verse and Fisk are great against the run. That is true. That is true. All right, so Baltimore Chargers, the Harbaugh Bowl. We got, of course, Harbaugh's Ravens versus the Fighting Harbaughs out in L.A.
Oh, man.
If they screw me this time, it'll be the last time I pick them for a while. I'm going to go Ravens.
Yeah. I'm going to pick Baltimore, too. I don't know. That Cincinnati game was so crazy. Like, anything could happen.
Man.
Well, I'm going to take the Ravens as well. Listen, I think that they bounce back, but I also saw a little chink in the armor of the Fighting Harbaughs last week. So I think they get a better opponent that beats them this week in Baltimore.
Well, it's hard to go against Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator for Baltimore. So he'll come up with something.
Again, after that 2-point conversion call, I don't know what the heck he was doing there.
But I just feel like, if Derrick Henry get going, then the Ravens are going to win this game. But if they can control that run game, then the Chargers got a great chance with that secondary of Baltimore.
Wow, look at Greg with back-to-back lone wolves.
I know. I'm kind of regretting my pick.
You can change it right now.
You got some time. Kickoffs on that start.
It saved you last week because
that was silly. What were me and Joe?
I do remember that. And at the same time, we were like, whoa.
We were like, hold on. What was it? The Colts? Who were they playing?
Yeah.
This ain't spades. You can't renege. You can change your pick before they finalize them. It's not. Once the card hits, doesn't stick. We're not playing spades here.
Over the Jets. I mean, it was 1 point. Okay, we were literally thinking the Jets were going to win.
Yeah, well, it was ugly early. So yeah. All right, Chicago, Detroit, the early game on Thanksgiving.
This Lions team. Put another carcass on the fire. Lions.
Picking Detroit, baby. 55 points.
I know one thing. They better show up in the playoffs. Don't have all this success and dominate teams in the regular season and then bow out in the first round or the first time you get a game. Don't do what the Ravens did. Home field advantage, all the momentum, and then lose.
That was bad.
Yeah, because Detroit's been crushing people. I recall last year on Thanksgiving Day, Chicago came in and shocked Detroit in their home. Oh no, it's Green Bay that did it, and then Chicago did it the week after. I'm going to give Chicago. I'm a lone wolf on them here.
Woo!
They get it Thanksgiving Day.
You can have that, sir. Enjoy.
I think they're a little vulnerable on Thanksgiving Day. That 4-day stretch is rough to prepare, so you're on equal footing.
I'm not going against Detroit.
Okay, the other Thanksgiving Day matchup.
Oh my God!
Comes to Dallas.
Back-to-back wins for the Giants. Back-to-back Giant wins. Look at that. They're going to go back-to-back.
No way, dude. CD Lamb versus Malik Neighbors. Ooh, that'll be the only fun part.
I'm going Dallas. I think Dallas gets it done in this matchup. This may be one of the few times they get it done, but they're actually starting to get pass rushers back, so that's a good thing. I think they get them. I think they get it done at home on Thanksgiving Day. That may be one of their few saving graces after the stretch they've had.
I'm gonna go Dallas too. I think the cutlets are gonna be tackled and chopped up. Whatever else you could say about that.
You're lone wolfing twice on the Giants, Joe.
Yeah.
They'll say run, Tracy, run.
This
run defense just hasn't been good the last few years. So
they've got issues. I think they get better with Parsons and Nealon back. Nealon can help against the run on the edge where they struggle the most. The linebackers, they don't. I mean, Overshown's making great plays, but he's still almost in rookie form because he missed all of last year. And I think as much as they still just don't have the linebacker play to help back up that defensive line, especially interior. I mean, they're a penetrating D line, which leaves the linebackers with a lot of space to cover. That's part of the problem. And until you get that linebacker level tight, I think that's why they're going to continue to struggle with the run.
And it's Thanksgiving. You would think the Cowboys would probably be – this game's in Dallas, so you think they will be ready to go. But at the same time, do you think Dallas really want to win or lose the opportunity to get Deion and Shador up in there?
Yeah.
Right there,
He is the mayor of Boulder. He's not going to.
He already said, "I don't want that smoke in the NFL, man." He knows the deal.
Sure.
He say that, but I don't know.
Deion Sanders coaching a Deion Sanders. He's got a hard enough time with his own kids. He ain't gonna. They try to. I don't know if I believe
him though. You know what I'm saying? If you get a chance to go to the NFL and that team tells you that they're going to draft your son, I think you got to listen to that, even if it's Vegas.
If he does jump ship, he needs some major PR because all this I'm not going talk he's doing, he's got to do some serious backtracking. He better have a nice PR staff that can spin it on why he left and blah, 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 blah.
Well, he said the same thing with leaving Jackson for Colorado.
That was different. That was different. I knew he was going to better deal Jackson State at some point. It was just the right – but I'll tell you that, and he is going to better deal Colorado at some point too. But it ain't going to be for the NFL because he don't want that. Could you imagine him trying to coach Trayvon Diggs on tackling?
He may.
Well, it's gonna be like that Spider-Man meme where he's pointing at himself.
He'll be better in coverage though.
He'll be definitely better in coverage.
Yeah. So,
but they still gonna run.
You got away with it for all those years. Why not trade? Why not Trayvon? You got to be a tackler. Just do what you got to do.
Yeah, it was a different game, though.
Yeah, I know it was. You're right.
Deion didn't have to come up and tackle on the bubble screens and jet sweeps. He'd have to do that.
I can't remember one time seeing. Once seeing Deion Sanders hit somebody hard.
I do know when he tried to hit somebody hard once. It was a tight end. It was a tight end from the Saints, and he bounced off.
Yeah. And there's one rule change that changes everything about corners and safeties and all of them. You know what I'm saying? When they get outside the tackle box and you can't
dive at their knees. Yeah,
they just running crack toss all day now. That's what they'll do if you can't tackle. So you got to find physical corners and physical safeties.
Yeah. Trust me. That ever since they outlawed diving at the lineman's knees, they've been loving the outside. Okay. even though the officials can't call it right because they call it on guys that are trying to split the block. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, I digress because I can complain about officials every week. We got 2 more games to go through here. So the late game on Thursday is Miami at Green Bay.
That's a good game. Ooh, that's tough.
I'm going to pick Green Bay.
Yeah, I'll go Packers. I was going to go fighting Tua's, but I'll go Green Bay.
No.
Especially with it being in
Daniel
Lambeau.
Get it done in the cold. He hasn't done it done yet. He didn't get it done in Buffalo. Didn't get it done in Kansas City.
Yep.
Does he get it done in Green Bay?
Long time of the season.
Yeah.
Anytime you take a hot weather team and you take them into cold weather, man, it's a little different, man. I remember when I was with the Bears, we played Tampa. The temperature was a certain temperature every year. If it was below 30 degrees, they couldn't beat us.
Mm-hmm. It's like taking that knockout fighter and making him go into 10 rounds. He's not used to the deep waters. Going into cold weather like that, you could put on the pregame show all you want with no shirt on, warming up. It matters after you've been out there for 2 hours in that cold, and your fingers and your toes are all frozen.
I'm sorry, Ashmere. I didn't know you guys were on national television on
It's
Friday.
so ugly.
I apologize. Oh my God.
It's so ugly.
You
Like,
get
why?
the Black Friday beating.
Who did they want to see throwing the ball on Netflix? You know,
Oof. I go Chiefs.
they were like, you know, who would be really cool to watch on Friday on Netflix? Gardner Minshew. That's where I'm trying to be.
The game's not even in Vegas, so you didn't have that appeal. I mean, no disrespect to Kansas City. I'm sure it's a wonderful city, but I mean, it ain't Vegas.
So this game was pretty much based off of Vegas beating the Chiefs last year. So they made it a special game on Friday night. But it's holding.
And he almost pulled it off a couple of weeks
Well,
ago.
let's just sprinkle that to repeat itself. But I guess we're all picking Kansas City.
No doubt. No doubt.
I mean, I can always throw the Raiders back up there for you.
No.
Yeah, have a lone wolf. She get that right, she'd never stop talking about
Unless
it.
Daniel Jones all of a sudden is in Vegas, which I do not want. I'm saying it here on the show. Please don't bring Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I don't know where he ends up. That's a good question too.
Miami?
Yeah, we'll pick him up.
Nope.
All right, so there we have it. And just to refresh everybody's memory, where we are on the standings, it is quite comfortably squeezed together at the top there with Greg looping up behind us and Joe closing in on Greg. So we're no longer spread out. We're a pack of cars coming down the track. All right. And that is your rapid fire for this week.
Yo, you got a chance, man. You and Lone Wolf a few times, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look at the Giants. If Giants pull that off, you good.
Oh yeah, you're gonna know all about it.
There'll be a whole new Lone Wolf sound next week if Joe's Lone Wolf on the Giants pay off. Okay, that's gonna be a loud and proud Lone Wolf after that. It's not gonna be that Snagglepuss Lone Wolf we got right now. Yeah, I know you remember Snagglepuss, Greg. I mean, Phil. Yeah. We got the wolf that's like howling at the meat. We got the one that's got like jazz. I'm low wolfing even.
You know, some wolves' howls are a little bit louder than others.
Yeah.
I'm still in shock. I just can't believe it. If the Giants win today, the group chat's going to be blowing up.
Oh, you're right now.
Listen, the group chat's gonna be. There'll be a lot of people talking all over the country. Going, they believe in the cutlets. They believe in the.
He
cutlets.
had some good moments last season, and I mean, they got some players there, but the players never get the ball. So if he can get rid of the ball faster, that's my logic. If he can get the ball in the playmakers' hands faster, different outcome for the Giants. I hope. We'll see.
Well, I picked them to beat the Eagles to end the season last year. So.
His neighbors playing?
I believe
don't tell me that now. I would change my picks.
I believe he is this week. I didn't know anything about it now.
Yeah, he's playing.
Expect him to play. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. Neighbors was big game.
All right, everyone. Thank you again. It has been a very fun, exciting Sunday. And thank you again, Coach Daniels, for joining us and dropping your wisdom. We hope to see you as the back half of the season comes, and it's going to be way more exciting. And we'll talk about more matchups then. For everyone tuning in, thank you for watching Team NBS Media, Moving the Chains. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, all of those things, and have a great Sunday.